Welcome to another Mixed Media Tuesday, and today I'm going to share a very quick and simple art journal project. I will be playing with these dies. I have actually used these dies on a video that I posted last week to create some cards, and I found that they were really gorgeous to use on my journal as well. So that's the card with the flamingo where I used those dies. If you haven't seen that video, you can check that out. Absolutely love the border of it. So I will be using the inside die to create my background. Now for today I had pretty much no time, and I was debating with myself whether I want to post a video or not, but I decided let's go for it and let's make something really quick and simple so you can see the process. So for those times where I don't want to create the background from scratch, this book is amazing. This is by my friend Marta, and it gives you lots and lots of backgrounds that you can play with. Just tear off a page and stick it down. You can even collage with it. This time, just to make it more creative, I'm just going to use the die and run it through my die cutting machine. And I'm using here my rice paper glue to stick down the paper. This is thin paper like the page of a book, so the rice paper glue is going to hold it nicely. You can definitely use matte medium if you have so. And I'm also going to use the same glue to cover up the top as well. So I'm kind of going to seal it down, and this way it will allow me for different techniques that I can do on top. The truth is that today I'm going for a really quick and simple page, but in any case it is a good step to take since it can allow for lots and lots of techniques. Now let's move on to the next step. You can definitely dry this out if you want, or you can grab the scraps and do some extra collage on top if you like some bits and pieces from this pattern paper. So for example, here I'm just going to cut out a couple of them just to show you what I mean. And then I'm going to stick it on top of what I already have. This can allow for an introduction of another color or another pattern. You see here it has kind of a pattern that looks like a burlap. So I'm just going to stick those here and there, and I'm adding an extra touch of pink in different areas. So that's another way to use these background papers. And again, I'm just going to stick them down and seal them on top with the same rice paper glue. Now, one of my favorite things to do on my journals, even when I'm in a hurry, like today, I always like to add some texture and dimension on the background. So I'm using my lately favorite stencil. Absolutely love this one, and you have seen me already using it a couple of times in my latest videos. And I'm going to apply some volume paste like I always do. I'm not going to transfer the whole design all over the place. I'm just picking bits and pieces of the stencil to transfer, and at this stage I don't know exactly what I'm going to stick on top, but I know that it's going to be kind of a simple and colorful focal point. So I think that white is going to complement no matter what I decide to stick on top. Now lately I like to play with the Crackle paste. This is another type of modeling paste like the volume paste that I use, but this one actually creates crackles as it dries. You can definitely leave it to air dry, or you can use your heat gun to speed up the drying process. And it really depends, the crackle that it creates really depends on how thick or thin you apply it. Thinner application is going to give you very thin crackles and small ones. Larger application is going to give big lines, big crackles. So I added some here and there really randomly, and I'm going to leave it aside to dry. In the meantime, I'm going to choose my focal point. So I decided to go with butterflies. I'm kind of in a butterfly era where I like to use butterflies pretty much everywhere. And this is an Ephemera book by Marta again. So I'm trying to pick butterfly that is going to complement and match kind of with what colors I have on the background. There are many butterflies here, lots of different sizes. I decided to go with this one, and you can either go with your butterfly at the center or just stick it on the side. Now my paste is dry and I can see the crackles. It's kind of difficult to catch on camera because it is white and however I'm going to help them come more into the foreground by adding some brown color on top. So to do that you can either do it with Aquacolor that I have here, which dries, it is a spray but it dries permanent, or you can definitely do it with any other brown spray that you have, whether it dries permanent or not. You can use watercolor if you like, you can dilute acrylic paint. The idea is to first spray the page with water and then apply the color on top so that it is easy to dilute and it goes inside the crackles. This is going to bring the crackles more to life. It is really hard again to show this on camera, but you will see the close-up photos at the end of the video where I'm going to add them. Now I'm going to repeat the same process where I have those crackles and I don't want to turn my page into looking brown. That's why once I allow that color to go inside those crannies, nooks and crannies, I'm going back with a baby wipe and just dab all the excess color, making sure that it doesn't turn into brown. I want this to be more soft in colors. So now it is time to stick my butterfly. To add some extra texture and interest, I'm using some cheesecloth, which I'm just going to stick under the butterfly. And then I'm going to place the butterfly on top. I like to have elements on my pages kind of on the side. I feel like it gives some mystery, some excitement in the page. It makes it look more interesting, as if there is something going on outside of the borders of that page. So that's why I like to place them usually on the sides. But you can definitely go ahead and stick your butterfly at the center. Another idea, if you are looking for focal points that are quick and simple, are big flowers. They make the great focal point, and it's always nice and vibrant, and it's going to bring your page into life without too much effort. So now all that's left to do is to do the finishing touches. And I'm going to start with some splattering. I'm using white calligraphy ink here. You can definitely use white acrylic paint if you dilute it with water. You can use watercolor, white watercolor, anything goes really. I'm going to add a quote. I always like to have quotes on my pages, and at this stage you can definitely give your butterfly antennas, which of course I chopped off because it was impossible to cut them out. You can draw them if you like. I do have the cheesecloth underneath, so it's not possible to draw them, but you can use string or even wire. It's going to give an extra point of interest on your page. So I used a black fine marker to outline my quote. I'm using a white gel pen to add some highlights here and there around my butterfly. And completely optional again, I'm going to add some splattering, but this time with black. I do have black acrylic paint, just a dab, and I will dilute it with water. And then I'm just going to do the splattering all over the place. I know splattering is not for everyone, but I absolutely love that little detail that is the same on the background as well as on the focal points. I always feel like it brings all the elements together. So that was the quick project for today, quick and simple, and I hope it inspires you to just sit down and play without overcomplicating the art journal process. Links to everything I used can be found below, just like always. You can see here some close-up photos. Thank you all so much for joining me, and I'll see you all next time.